Okay, cool. Um, so I started to do this video before I got like 10 minutes in, and then I realized that one of my keys that is assigned in FL Studio to pull up one of the windows, it was actually the same key used to stop the screen recording. So that would have been a whole mess with editing because I'm recording audio separately from the video. Anyway, uh, all I had done so far was, um, well, I started by saying that I have never done this kind of thing before where I screen record while I'm producing, mainly because it can be kind of difficult to get the audio to work right between the interface and the screen recording software and um, and then like if you have to record separately like I'm doing now, then that means I have to sync it up, which is extra work, and that's perfectly fine, but it helps to know ahead of time, which I didn't know in the past and now I do. So we're going to give it another shot. Hopefully I successfully make a beat and upload it to YouTube. And if that is true, then you are watching this now. So anyway, what I want to do today is kind of just make like a atmosphere type beat, or like the first song on A$AP Rock's first album, Music for Earthworms. Just kind of like a spacey and eerie kind of vibe. A lot of the beats on Overcast, all of the beats on Dino Spectrum. That's not Atmosphere, but it is Atmosphere. Slug, the MC from Atmosphere, and Ant, the producer from Atmosphere, as well as three other MCs, made Dino Spectrum, and all the beats on that are really haunting and eerie and just kind of spooky, ghost town, or like an empty church sounding kind of thing. So anyway, that's what I'm going for. I normally don't have, speaking on the 155 BPM, I normally don't stray too far from 92 or like 86 or 102. That's usually where I write hip-hop. But I'd really like to get away from that. 92 is where the majority of my tracks are made. But I'd like to get away from that. So 155 is what I've chosen. And basically all I've done with the beat so far is... Oh, where is that? Well, I can just play it here, I think. Yeah, so I just took that. That's the original sample. And I've got a looks like a 4-bar loop here, which for some reason is... So I got a 4-bar loop. This first track here is kind of just like a little warmth. It's the same sample, but it's just tuned down an octave, I believe, or 2 octaves. I took some of the way low end out so it wasn't taking up headroom, as soon as I was starting the track, take some of that low end out so before it becomes a problem. So then I've also got another one of those, another instance of that guy right here, and it's a minor third up from this guy, a minor third and an octave. Oh, that was kind of cool. That's really cool. I could actually sample that after I'm done recording this video. Wow. So I've got that guy in the bottom and then this guy in the top. And the only other thing that I did was hi-hats, some simple hi-hats. It's not much, but it, pulls everything together. You can tell. As soon as you put hi-hats over something, that's when I think, whether it's going to be a dope beat or not. Or as soon as you put the hi-hats on, you get a feel for how to make it into a dope beat. Because it's all about that, like in house music. House music in particular is what it makes me think of, is that you got the 4 on the floor, the kick, right? And it's like, that's what's really driving, that persistence of the kick drum is really driving the song. So I think in hip hop, hi-hats are the same way. So, it's one thing like this, but as soon as the hi-hats come in, you start waiting for the rest of the kick and the snare. So speaking of, let's go get the kick and the snare. And I'm going to layer whatever kick I choose now. I'm going to layer / process later on. I like that, but I think I'm going to take some of that decay out, or some of the, bring the decay down. So it's not, because you can hear, well, I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a snake in my boot. There's like a tail on it. It's way in the low end. That's why I don't know if you can hear it, depending on what speakers you're listening on. But there's like a and it's although I might leave it so that there's something going on in the sub range, because in the scope of this video, I probably won't put a sub on this beat. So yeah, I will just leave it then. And it's a little too high for my taste. Let's see that. So actually, let's just start. So it's starting to lose some of its attack the lower I bring it. So I think 4 is the lowest I'm going to get. I want it to be low, but I also need it to still have that attack at the beginning. So in the meantime, and by that I mean I don't want to put a snare on yet. I feel like putting a snare on too soon when you're creating a beat is it takes the magic out too early. I feel like you lose the inspiration for what the beat could be if you bring in the snare too early in the composition process. So I kind of want to something like that, maybe. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna turn it down though. Yeah, I think what I want to do actually is, no, what I was gonna say is that I think I want to take this one out and take this one out, and then basically I would have, instead of having these 4, that one would be replaced by that one on a different track, and then that one with that. I don't, yeah. That's kind of cool because I think this is panned. I think this is a stereo audio file. I don't know how to tell, but yeah, so I don't think you can hear it because I've got a 1/4 inch output, so I don't think you can hear the stereo effect, but what's cool is that this one is like in the center, and then this one is to the right. Yeah. But you probably can't tell. This is probably being summed down to mono. But so yeah, I think I am actually going to do that. Have these two guys alternating. And then I'm going to have this guy every time, but he's going to be real quiet. And all these guys can go to the same. So, I think I like that. Yeah, I like that being there. It's pretty like persistent, but I don't think it's too much. You know, because at some point you can drop it out and it's like an element that's missing, so you can kind of tell a story with it by taking it out and putting it back. So, and then I want to double it with this guy, but when I heard the two of them together, they didn't sound like they were meshing very well, which makes sense because they're two totally different cymbal sizes, and the transients are or the cymbals are actually two different pitches. So what I want to do, I think, is tune this guy down, not necessarily to match that guy, but just to be in closer ballpark. And then yeah, I think it brings this part out more, you know, like here's what it is without it, with just this part, right? You can hear it, but I think it's too subtle. But I feel like having this in the background, you know, to like, what am I doing? I want to solo both, whatever. Having this guy in the background as well, you know, the higher one, I think it pulls this lower guy to the front a little bit more. so that you can hear him better, you know, or he's just a little more evident, even if he's not louder in the mix. So I like that. Yeah, I like this thing that's happening, you know, on the, you know, but I think what I want to happen is like every 4 or every 8, you know, something else happens, another event happens underneath it, something like that, but real quiet, just to like, I want it to be an extension, to sound like it's an extension of this thing that's happening, but yeah. And I want it to last longer and also not be as high pitched, so although I don't know that I'm going to get the sound that I'm going for with China. That's kind of cool. What I wanted was like a, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like a suspense in a trailer kind of thing. I don't know. Oh, I think I know what I want to do. What I'm actually going to do is another instance of this, but I'm going to tune it down way low. And then I'm going to turn the, yeah. Yeah. This is, I think, too low. Yeah, I don't know that I like that. That first China, that one's gonna go. Bye. But we got this guy, so that's an important piece of the puzzle. It's subtle, but you know, that's kind of important. The subtle stuff is really the important parts. Oh, maybe what I would have been looking for would be in here. No. None of those are really impacts. I need to go back through my sample library now that I know what I'm doing and put this stuff where it should go. Rearrange some of this. What? Oh, don't do this. Alright, I need to restart this really quick. I don't know if you guys ever get this, but sometimes when I put a sample in whatever this is called, it's not samplers in, or simpler is in Ableton. I don't remember what this is called. But anyway, when I put a sample in and then I, you know, program where I want it to hit on the channel rack here, this is what comes out. It's just like, which is obviously not that sound. So I'm gonna restart really quick because yeah, and yeah. So yeah, what's everyone been up to? No, why? So yeah, if anyone knows a fix for that, let me know, because I don't know why it does that. Because it's really aggravating especially when I've got a dope sample that I'm like excited to use, and then it's like, you're not gonna use that sample. You are not gonna use that sample. Yeah. No, just on the first one. That's dope, right? I think this might actually be too quiet, because I kind of forgot it was happening. Yeah, something like that. That's a little too loud, maybe like there. Actually, I think I want a low pass filter on it. A low and a high pass filter on it. So a band filter? Kind of. Something like that. Something like that. Maybe a little less down there. Of course, remember, you should never mix in solo, because it's going to sound completely different when you bring everything else back in. I'm not mixing, though. I'm just pre-mixing during composition. If I was mixing, though, I wouldn't have done that kind of, where was it? Over here. I wouldn't have done that kind of, messing with the EQ without hearing everything else, how it sounded with everything else, except for, like, precise stuff. But really, once you bring everything else back in, it doesn't even matter how it sounds on its own, because it's a part of the entire picture, See, like, now that I brought everything back in, it sounds like there's still too much high end, where I probably wouldn't have said that while I was listening to it while I had it soloed. Also, since I'm taking so much energy out of this sample, I'm going to bump the volume up so that we can actually hear it again. Yeah, that's not bad. It's not perfect, but it's also not bad. So, let's add a little bit of ornamentification. That's right. You heard what I said. Yes. Dun, dun. That's actually gonna go over here. So yeah. And then I want this to last longer, so I'm going to do that a particular way. First, I'm going to clear this stuff off because it's distracting. And what I'm going to do, 7, which is right here, so that I can hear it better, I'm going to solo it, and then the particular way that I'm going to make this last longer, here's what it sounds like without So I want that to actually last. It essentially stops by this point right here, because it goes. Actually, I don't even want that. Yeah. So that'll just clean it up for what I'm about to do. So as soon as that sample is done, I want it to play again. So that's too fast. And then feedback, I gotta cut that. I don't want any feedback to begin with because I just want to hear one repetition. So here, let me. Let me do it with the hi-hat. Okay, I think I like that. And I don't want it to do that necessarily. I want it to, yeah, something like that. And also, since I'm doing that, I'm going to take some more of the low end out, because delay and way low end just don't vibe well. Yeah, like if you have too much low end, like say we put all that low end back in there, after it keeps repeating on the delay, it's just going to be cumbersome. It's going to sound like a whole bag of ass. Yeah, it's just too much. Like my philosophy is that you want warmth, but if you have too much warmth, it's just like baggage. It's not warmth anymore. It's just baggage. Yeah. And again, after I hear it in the mix, I'm going to take even more of the low end out because it sounds like it's taking up too much of the low end once I hear the entire picture all together. Okay, now that's too much. Unless I can turn it up and it'll be, see how that sounds. Yeah, I'm with that. Like that. So, and I hope everyone else likes that too. And I'm gonna actually turn it down. Sorry, I'm actually gonna turn that, I'm gonna turn it down. Because it, yeah. Okay, dope. So, yeah, I think we just need like one more major element before we start bringing the snare. I like to bring it in last because it adds so much energy to a beat, you know, that after you add the snare, and if the snare kicks just right, you know, it's not even, like, there's nothing to do after that, you know. The beat's finished. Like, as soon as the snare's there, the beat's finished, I think. So, yeah, let's bring, like, a piano in. I know this guy who plays piano. I'm gonna just, like, pop him in really quick. Here we go. Mr. Piano Man. Fuck, what am I doing here? And what? I don't know, something like that. I don't know yet. Something like that. But I just wanted to get something put in so that I could test out piano sounds. Yeah, that's more like it. I think school piano. I'm gonna try. I think what I want to try is. I think what I want to try is to use on one of these, use broken piano and use school piano on the other. So the school piano I think I'm going to bring down an octave. Maybe, I don't know that that's how I want to layer it, but, and then I'm also going to bring the volume on that down, way down, so that school piano is really just like a secondary element for your ears to pick up on with the broken piano. Not that they're two separate things. And how do I want to? I think this is like too bright. I don't think that's what I want. Oh, that's velocity, yeah. So, what the hell even is all this? Okay, alright. Yeah. What if I'm going to try something really quick. Apologies for this, but alright, I don't know. No, that can fuck off. That whole tangent was, I don't know. And both of those are too loud, so. But I don't think it's just a volume thing. I think it also needs. Yeah, so I think that's like the perfect volume. Maybe not the perfect volume, but I think that's the volume that I want it at. However, it might sound like it still needs turned down because it needs put into the distance a little bit with some reverb. So I want to solo it over here. There are so many fucking presets. Well, let's hear how it sounds with everything. And also, I think I need to change this. So I think I wanted to do like dun 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 boom, but this guy I think doesn't belong over here with the other one. I think his job is to stay on the one and do it quietly, something like that. And then what I'm also going to do is change these velocities, or this one velocity, so that the second note is slightly higher. Yeah, like that. And two more things, I think. What I want to do is chords, because we need some harmony. There's like hardly any harmony. There's hardly any harmony. FL keys. So I want to do chords, and then I also want to add some sharpness to the hi-hat, I think. And then the snare, and then we'll see if it needs, bass as well. I decided I was going to put off the bass until I figured out what the other parts were going to be doing. So, do I want a piano though? Nah, I think we need a different, what is the... Yes. Alright, I think this is the one. Yeah. happening right. I'd really like to add some kind of like sleigh bell kind of sound, but I don't think I have any. Although, something like that. Yeah. And then I'm going to take some of the attack off. Because there it sounds like a cymbal. But I want it to have kind of the like shimmeriness of a sleigh bell. Sleigh bells are kind of weird instruments to want in your hip hop, but like they're actually really dope, I think. There's a track on Illmatic. I can't remember which at the moment. So yeah, I take back what I said earlier, or at least I'm going to go against what I said earlier, and I'm going to hit the snare, and then bass is going to be the final thing I add to this. So snare is the icing, so we really gotta figure that out. Might come across something. I do like that. Maybe without. Yeah, that's pretty dope. And I kind of want to try to incorporate the, let's see if I can do this, like tuned real low with some attack taken off. What's happening? Yeah. Oh, nice. It's the digging sound from Minecraft. Dude. Yeah, I'm digging. Ah, shit, why did I do that? Alright. Enough of the digging. Yeah. Something like that. There's also really high frequency. I mean, tell me that's not the dirt sound from Minecraft. But, okay, here's what it sounds like together. And, yeah. However, is that any different than if I just left this tail on? Let's find out. Okay, that's with the tail on and no secondary part, and then that's without the tail with the secondary part. I think there's a difference. I don't know for sure. I'm pretty sure. But y'all can be the judge of that. Now, what I would do if I knew how, which I don't in FL yet, but if I knew how, I would sidechain some of this shit to the snare, so that when the snare hits, some of the other stuff ducks down. I don't know how to do that yet. I will eventually, though. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna bring the snare up in the mix. Finally, and this is the first time I've actually been excited to use this plugin. Because every other time that I've used it, I've just been experimenting with it. But I think this time I can hear this plugin in this track. Whereas before I was just kind of messing around, arbitrarily. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, I want to do ding, ding, rest, ding, 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 or something like that. And then I want, okay, so if I take this out, then this third bar here mimics this second bar here, and then this first bar here mimics this fourth bar. So when you play it through, rest, rest, dun, 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 dun. So it goes dun, dun, rest, dun, dun, dun. So then, since it's looped, these two are next to each other. So, yeah. Not that anybody would ever listen to it and think about it that way. Well, I don't know. I would. I do. But I think it adds to, like, the credence of the track. I wouldn't hold out much hope for the credence. I think in order to double this bass part, I would have to clone and then copy, paste, and then that goes down an octave, and then you can't even hear that. Yeah. yeah. Thank you for watching or skimming through this video. Let me know if you like the beat. Let me know if you have any pointers as far as working with FL, because I am definitely new to it. Yeah. Peace out.